group of brothers to come together on this weekend, Father's Day weekend, Juneteenth weekend, to put a group of men together that are making strides to open doors for other people. Because the whole thing is about being in the service department. If you're not serving, then what are you doing? You know, but the Black Men Speak, a roundtable discussion about the community, the vices in the community, and not just so much as, you know, we get a lot of talk going on about this and that, but some discussion about solution.
Okay.
We want to be a solution oriented. We got Mr. Joe Hopkins of the Pasadena Journal, who I'm honored. He has printed our work. He has our grandfather, your father, my grandfather. Well, the JazzZone has been very well represented in the Pasadena Journal. And Miss Ruthie Hopkins, they've been great to us.
Yes.
As well, we have Renard Zoe Williams, who is the voice of William, the voice of reason.
Yes.
That's what they tout him as, the urban Dr. Phil. He's a great brother. He's also on Sirius Radio, the Foxhole. Thursday nights he has his urban relationship slot, helping families. I mean, you know, the brothers really coming together. And we also have Marcus Jones, who is, we call, he's known as Morpheus, speaking the truth, and he's got a direct approach to how he does his thing. And what he has is really keeping families together through his poetic way that he represents himself. You know, keep this, and he inspired me a lot, really, you know, because you can go through so many things in a relationship that make you say, man, this is crazy, and want to give it up. But you got to work on those things, and that's another brother that's going to be on the panel there.
You also have a pastor on the panel.
Oh, wow. You know, and to be involved with this brother here, Pastor Harold, with Faith Words Church, right here on Lincoln, right in the community, grabbing the people that need to be grabbed the most. You know, where do you work from, but right where you need to be at.
You're also going to the El Cabulan Cultural Center.
The El Cabulan Cultural Center, yes. We're going there, and they're going to have a mixer. We're going to do a little recital of a couple of my poems, which would be an honor to come back and let them see from what I was as a boy to what I allowed myself to become as a young man, to coming back as somebody that the community can look at and say, man, that's my friend right there. Look at Kijana.
Yeah.
Wow. And hopefully inspire somebody else.
You also spoke of a great paper that we have here in the community, the Pasadena Journal, with Joe and Ruthie Hopkins, but you're also going to utilize their space, and they have a beautiful patio where you're going to do a book signing and spoken word after work mixer as well.
And you know, in the paper, before I left, the paper was really getting strong, and you kept me inundated with the paper through my whole time.
Yes.
And I was able to be involved in the community as the community have grown.
Yes.
Because, I mean, without the journal being locally rooted, I mean, there's so many people that would not have the exposure for their businesses. So many businesses rely on the journal for their clients, for their customers. And it's a great opportunity to be able to go to there.
Well, you know what? It's a great opportunity for me to also on Father's Day to thank Joe and Ruthie Hopkins for continuously having the journal come to you, regardless of where you were, and what changes that they made in your resident, and what changes they had to go through to be sure they got to the next place.
You're right.
To keep you informed of what was going on in your community. And I know that John Muir, you're a graduate of John Muir, proud graduate.
Proud graduate.
And there's an event coming up as well with them here.
Yes.
That you're in town for.
Yes. On the 27th, Saturday, right on John Muir campus, we'll be having the first annual John Muir Mustang Picnic. And Nishan, she put that together, and I mean, she put the John Muir site, and through the John Muir site, so many people have been connected. You got people coming back from all around the country, so to come back at this time, it's not just Father's Day, not just Juneteenth, but a reunion, and me coming back and being in position to share what I've seen on my journeys, where so many people have questioned, like, wow, you know, he was this kind of guy, I can't believe. And I'm here to tell families that it could be your son too.
Yes.
because you didn't know the depths of the involvement I had in the street. I was good at hiding it. I was better than good. It was amazing to you to know how much I was into once you found out. You had to sit down and take a pill and say, oh man,
yeah,
you know, I didn't know, and I'm right there since he was born.
Yeah, I knew you was running around the edges, but I didn't know you was the edge.
And like you said, and you told my mother that time, when you said that she was blaming my friends as bad influence. Who's to say I'm not the one that was the bad influence?
Yeah.
And parents neglect what their sons and daughters are doing because it's their sweetheart, that's their baby, and you're doing yourself a disservice and the community by not knowing what your son is involved in, because what happens is you actually facilitate a failure now, at that stage.
At that stage, that's correct.
Because I'm no failure.
At that stage.
At that stage.
You're no failure.
That's right.
But you know, it's the trials, tribulations, and triumphs that we're dealing with. And one of the triumphs that I want to speak to is the fact is on the 27th, the major event, the Stand and Deliver, that's going to be at the, where is that at? And that's
Faithworks Ministry.
Faithworks Ministry.
Right on Lincoln.
Right on Lincoln in Montana. Okay. Right. 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.?
4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I will be on stage delivering my journey to the community in hopes not to do a lot of talking about me. What I'm here for is inspire others. When you look back, when I look at Pasadena and you hear about all the things going on around Pasadena, everybody knows what's going on, but nobody wants to really focus on what's happening. Why is it like this? You know, I'm close. We used to have a village. You know, the village raised a child. That's Owen's boy down there. That's Mrs. Jones' son. You better get home. You know, I'm gonna tell your mother. Those kind of things like that. Those things are not in place anymore. And what I'm bringing is a little cohesiveness, because I want to connect with my friends, my family, the people that have a lack of missing information there about how I got to where I got, because it could be anybody. It could easily be the one you think it won't be, easily. Yeah. So I will be on stage, standing and delivering the message that I went to find out. Now, Martin Luther King Jr., he had a dream and went to the mountaintop. He saw and came back and told everybody what he saw on the mountaintop. I had a nightmare and went into the pit. I'm gonna come back and tell everybody what's going on in the pit in hopes of keeping them up. And I want to get to the mountaintop, and I'm on my way. Yes, but it takes work and it takes a journey, and everybody's got their trials and tribulations. What makes mine so profound where I want to share it? Because I want somebody not to have to tell it. I want to save somebody from having to tell this story.
Say that again. I think that's a very important point.
What makes my story so profound is I want to be able to tell it, and so somebody else don't have to experience it. That's the deal. Why must we experience what we know? It's like you tell me it's hot, but I have to touch it. I just got to touch it when you tell me it's hot. That's the only way I'm gonna know it's hot. But we can learn from others' examples. And it doesn't have to be a successful example, because it can be any kind of example, some example of what you don't want for your life. And I come to share that.
I remember one of our conversations, and somebody was talking about somebody and said, oh, they're a wino. I said, but you can learn a lot from the wino. He might have a great information to keep you from being one. Or they say, oh, that's a derelict based on the fact of what they look like, judging books by covers.
Right.
So we have just a short time on this show, and this show is about Kijana back on the block. Very, very important. As we get ready to close this show, what would you want this audience to get from you other than some very highlighted points? Because I don't want to have to tell the story either.
I understand. You know what really got me going? There was something that somebody said that struck me in such a deep way. It was like, men don't cry because that makes you a sissy. you're a sissy or a punk or something if you cry. You know what I mean? We don't cry down the sides of our cheeks. So a philosophy got to me, that we cry. We cry certain kind of tears. The tears of a man, don't flow down the sides of our face. The tears of a man flow through his heart, through his veins, to a lonely place. We do things out there that are ways of crying. We get into gangs, we get into drugs, we get into these streets, we make babies without being fathers. We do things that's supposed to be a man, but have nothing to do with manhood at all. So those are the tears, and that's what I'm here to represent. The tears of a man are endemic of what a man will do when he's not fully mature enough to handle what he's gotten himself into, and getting himself into a relationship. So he blows it on all kind of other things and blames it on the woman and everything else. But instead of looking in the mirror and internalizing what he's done and taking care of his responsibility.
I want to elaborate on both of those points, because in your poetic book that you have out now, it's called Expressions in Poetry.
Yes.
There is a poem, Tears of a Man. People need to pick up this poetic format that you have, this new book. And I know we're going to talk later about a book that you're writing, but this is your poem. And The Mirror. One of the things you spoke to was also about fathering children, and a poem that you had in there about the flower that grew.
Yes.
So a lot of the poetry that you've put together and compositely brought together in a formatted book form in terms of your poems, Expressions in Poetry by Kijana Owens, this is going to be available to people, correct, at your speaking tours?
This will be available, and there will be information for order.
Information for order will be available. First of all, I truly appreciate you participating on our JazzZone show. It's Father's Day weekend. We were once slaves, but we're free. Blessings are upon us. First of all, thank you again for enjoying our show. My name is Roscoe Lee Owens. I am your host in the Jazz Zone. Enjoy life with God's blessings, and we'll see you on another show. Thank you for tuning us in. And Kijana, stand and deliver, brother. Stand and deliver, because God is good.